You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Coming up in the news, the Bahamas to welcome the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge in a few hours. 10 students arraigned before the court and granted bail on the charge of fighting. And officers distributing food parcels in recognition of Food Month. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening all, I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thank you so much for tuning in. Topping the news, in just a matter of hours, the Bahamas will be graced by royalty. The Duke and Duchess of Cambridge will arrive in the nation's capital tomorrow afternoon for a 2-day visit. The visit will include stops here in Grand Bahama and Abaco as well.
Years since the last royal visit, and residents weigh in on the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge visiting Grand Bahama. Some say they are excited, and this can be the way forward.
I feel it's a good opportunity here for our country. I read some stuff saying that with them coming here to the country, it's gonna, I guess, help us with more publicity.
I think it's a great idea. I mean, they're the mother of the nation. They've been governing us for quite a number of years until the PLP took over. They did a fairly good job, and we would welcome them and do our best to make them feel at home.
When I was a small boy one time ago, I used to be happy when the Queen come to the Bahamas. And I'm grown now, so it still remains. I like to see the royal family come.
It's a good thing to see. We hear a lot about it, but we don't usually see them, so it'll be good for the people to actually, see what everyone's talking about.
She might open our government eyes, so I feel like it probably would make a difference.
I just think it'll be good publicity for the island. They're gonna go down for the Coral Vita thing, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it'll be good. I'm just visiting here, but I think it'll be good.
Now, there were mixed views. Some say they are not excited, expressing that the visit should have a purpose.
I'm not excited, really, unless they come in to do something for the Bahamas, Freeport in general. Then we'll see.
I'm not too much in favor of it, because if we were benefiting financially as a people from it, I would be happy, but we're not.
I hope they see the airport. I hope they see, all the derelict buildings.
I don't see what the visit is going. Visit is only benefiting them, really. It's just them coming on a vacation, and the young people who ever putting on a show for them. I don't see how it's going to benefit us, especially young people at all.
Now, the ZNS Network will be providing live coverage of the royal visit beginning this Thursday. I'm Azure Quant, ZNS Network News.
Thanks, Aja. Well, the royal couple arrive in Grand Bahama on Saturday. They will make a stop at the Grand Bahama Children's Home to view the improvement made to the facility that serves as a safe haven for abused, neglected, and abandoned children in the community. Tonight, we will hear from Lady Henrietta St. George, who is currently in London. She has been at the center of the operations of the home for decades. She says she's honored that the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge will stop by to visit the home. The Grand Bahama Children's Home will receive a special visit from the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, William and Kate Middleton. Wife of the late Edward St. George, Lady Henrietta St. George, says her involvement with the Grand Bahama Children's Home began shortly after 1980, and she's honored that they are coming to visit.
I think that is a great honor for us. It's a great honor for Grand Bahama. It's a great honor that the government has chosen us, for them to come to. And sadly, I can't be there because I am trying to organize my mother's memorial service, and she died, and she was 101 years old. And she served the Queen for her whole reign. So otherwise, I would be on Grand Bahama.
The residential home services Grand Bahama and, by extension, the Northern Bahamas. Lady St. George shares how she became a part of it.
Quite soon after I arrived, a member of the Grand Bahama Children's Home Committee came to see me in our house and said she had to leave the island. She had some children living with her and there were some other children dotted around the town. And would I please take it over and find a building and run it? So I asked my husband if I could have a building, and he gave me an empty building on Jobson Avenue.
The first home was on Jobson Avenue, but it is now at a new location and a more modern facility in Trip Circle, a move that was spearheaded by Lady St. George.
The old home was an old building, very long and thin. It was uninsulated, so it was freezing cold in winter and boiling hot in summer. And it really wasn't that suitable for a children's home. So my husband and I had built this village in the back in Trip Lane, and the children's home was the last building to be built there.
The area is now a care village with a PACE center for pregnant teens, a school for at-risk youth, and various care homes. Lady St. George says she remembers many of the children who were in her care.
And I still know lots of them, and they are quite grown up now, and a lot of them have children of their own. Sometimes they used to ask me why I was doing it. And I said, well, the thing is, I'm going to care for you now because you can't care for yourselves. And when I'm old, you're going to care for me. So I guess I'll have to come back to Grand Bahama in my old age.
And although she is unable to be in Grand Bahama for the arrival of the royals, she's hoping that all goes well. In addition, she has this message to those who support the home.
I would say, you know, please hold it dear, please support it. And it's a very, very important part of Grand Bahama. It's always been supported by the government and the Port Authority and us and the wider community.
Well, in other news, executives of the Grand Bahama Port Authority joining panel discussions at the 23rd Annual Grand Bahama Business Outlook to present on the topic of revitalizing Grand Bahama's economy. Three key members of the Grand Bahama Port Authority speaking on Grand Bahama's growth at the 23rd Annual Business Outlook. Chief Operating Officer Filcher Grant opening up on the surge associated with Hurricane Dorian, which completely destroyed the Grand Bahama Utility Company's well fields. As a result, the Grand Bahama Utility Company invested millions into a new reverse osmosis system for the island.
So we looked at our plans and we had to rebuild and revitalize, like so many of you had, to ensure that we had a plan that would not only turn potability, but give us resilience, that we wouldn't find ourselves in a position where we had potable water for a long time. And so we found our new water sources, and we made a $5 million investment in a reverse osmosis system to be able to restore potability to the island. And it was a long journey. And we thank the people of Grand Bahama for walking with us, holding our hands through that journey.
In the wake of Hurricane Dorian, there was an increase of derelict vehicles on the streets of Grand Bahama. Vice President of Buildings and Development Services, Nikira Wilchcomb, says it was an unprecedented amount, one like they've never seen. She says the first thing they did was gather all the vehicles into one location.
We then looked also at companies that could possibly offer services, because we don't want to get into the habit of just stockpiling. And so we wanted companies to become engaged with us to ensure that these cars were eventually exported. I'm told that there are at least 14,000 cars in the Starlight State around the island. So it's an enormous task that cannot be done overnight. And so we are pleased to say now that there are two companies that are involved, two budding entrepreneurs that are involved in this recycling business for derelict vehicles.
There has also been an increase in derelict buildings. Wilchcomb says there is an ongoing effort to see how quickly they can demolish those structures, but it is a process. She says in most cases, their hands are tied.
One of the things that we have started to work on within the last few years is amending the building and sanitary code bylaws that will allow us to either recoup the cost very soon if we were to take on the demolition ourselves as the Grand Bahama Port Authority, and to also look at other means by which we can demolish these structures. So right now, structures can only be demolished because if they're found to be unstructurally sound. And so we are, definitely anxious, and I'm pleased that the minister would have mentioned that they are working with us to look at these bylaws and the amendments as well as the proposed additions to address these issues.
A hot button topic as of recent is investor confidence in Freeport. Chief Investment Officer for the Port Authority, Derek Newbull, says they are far from where they were in 2019.
In an effort to rebuild investor confidence, we spent a great deal of time speaking with investors, communicating with them on a consistent basis. And these were investors who were actually working on projects that were at an advanced stage in the project cycle. And they were having second thoughts about moving forward. Where we are now is far different from where we were in 2019. As the Deputy Prime Minister said, there's now evidence of renewed interest in Freeport from investors. And we certainly expect that trend to continue. I think we can all agree that in the aftermath of Dorian, that investor confidence was not where any of us would have liked it to be. But that was expected, given the circumstances. In an effort to rebuild investor confidence, we spent a great deal of time speaking with investors, communicating with them on a consistent basis. And these were investors who were actually working on projects that were at an advanced stage in the project cycle. And they were having second thoughts about moving forward.
Port officials say there are major projects in the pipeline for Freeport, and announcements are soon to come. Now to news from the court. 10 male students of the Jack Haywood High School hauled before the court this past Monday on the charge of fighting. The juveniles all appearing before Deputy Chief Magistrate Debbie Ferguson in court number 1. They were each given bail in the amount of $1,000 with one suretor. These charges are reportedly linked to an incident that occurred on the school campus about a week ago. A male suffered a seizure after he was allegedly struck over his head over the eye, with a brass knuckle. The 10 students are expected before the juvenile panel in about 3 weeks. That's on April 12th. Now, given the recent uptick in violence in schools, we spoke to the Assistant Commissioner of Police, Theophilus Cunningham, about the presence of police officers on schools' campuses.
We have done just that. We have utilized our firefighters, who has put on some positive demonstrations for them, and our K9 unit with the dogs. That has been going quite well. And we have been doing some presentations by the commanders themselves to ensure that the youth understand that there's a better way than to commit a crime, that crime doesn't pay, and that in order to be good at something, you have to work hard and study.
ACP Cunningham says public safety is of paramount importance, noting that they do carry out periodic checks in the interest of safety. He has this bit of advice for students.
If you want to be good at something, you must practice and work hard. That failure is not an option. And if you fail, try again until you succeed.
Still in the crime beat, police say a large quantity of illegal ammunition was taken off the streets of Grand Bahama yesterday. Police tell us that around 11 a.m. Tuesday, a team of drug enforcement officers acting on intelligence went to a Drake Avenue where they discovered in bushes an assortment of illegal ammunition concealed in a gray duffel bag. Police say it was a total of 267 live rounds of ammunition. No arrest was made, and the matter remains under investigation. Now, that group of Cuban migrants who were brought to Grand Bahama yesterday on board a U.S. Coast Guard vessel had their day in court. The 28 Cuban nationals who were found in the area of Kisao Bank on Sunday were arraigned before Deputy Chief Magistrate Debbie Ferguson on the charge of illegal landing. All of the migrants were convicted and ordered deported. They were turned over to the Immigration Department and will be transported to the Carmichael Road Detention Center for deportation procedures. You're watching The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Stay with us. There's more news when we come back.
Come on down. Come on down. Now.
BAF General and Health Insurance has you covered for everything that life throws at you. We are here to protect you and your family and everything you work so hard to achieve. We cover you with liability, auto, home, marine, and commercial insurance. See a BAF General and Health Insurance agent today so we can have you covered. BAF for life.
Gabby's Grab and Go Nassau is expanding services to Grand Bahama and the Family Islands. Wholesale groceries from Sam's, BJ's, and Walmart. You make the list and they'll do the rest. For the best prices ever is Gabby's Grab and Go. Call 467-5950.
The West Grand Bahama District Council invites you to their Hurricane Disaster Preparedness Volunteer Meeting this Sunday, March 27th at 4 p.m. at the 8 Mile Rock High School Gymnasium. The guest speaker will be the Honorable Obadiah Wilchcomb.
Breaking news as it happens in the palm of your hands. Download the ZNS app and keep up with your favorite radio stations, breaking news articles, and live coverage wherever you are. The ZNS app, available in the Android and iOS store.
They're trying to push rich on me. They want to push rich on me. They don't care in front of company.
The King of the North is back. Howard's 104.5 FM.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. The Ministry of Youth's Fresh Start program doing its part to prepare young people for the job market. There are 50 students enrolled in the initiative that includes 3 phases and several areas of study. Our Aja Quantin fills us in.
Successful on a job.
Programs coordinator at the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture, Carla Brown-Roker, says employers around the nation discovered the lack of technical and soft skill. Therefore, the Fresh Start program is in place to correct that issue through personal development, job readiness, technical skills, and workplace internship.
It's a 16-week program, in essence 4 months. And this time around, we have sole partnership with BTVI, who is the epicenter for technical skills training in our country. And we offer 5 trades that participants had to choose from. So we have a welding class, we have a carpentry electrical class, we have a data entry QuickBooks class, a food and beverage class, and a computer technology class.
Shiloh Prince, Fresh Start Program Coordinator at BTVI, says they are the education provider, partnering with the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture, adding that the students are ecstatic about the program.
This is the first time in the history of the program that I have seen this amount of energy from the students. This positive energy. They're here early, they're leaving late. They have a break, and sometimes you have to run them out of the class because they don't want to take the break. They just want to stay in and work. I think that we meet a time now where they're interested in learning because they're thinking beyond learning. They're thinking that learning now is basically an opportunity to get me to where I actually want to go. And I believe that's why they're acting that way.
Not only is the program equipping their students for workplace in the Bahamas, but Brown Roker says they will be receiving NCCER training and OSHA safety, which is preparing them for work internationally.
The program is known to impact the workplaces in the country. In Grand Bahama, when we run this program, we get between 60 and 70% employment immediately following the internship process. And it is simply because we address the whole person.
Brown Roker says the students train with Pastor Wayne Carey, who interacts and presents ways in which they can get to know themselves better. Pastor Carey says one of the areas that piques his interest most is IQ testing, as it is the perfect way for the students to identify their natural ability.
In the workplace, they are saying a lot of young people are coming in the workplace and they don't know how to. Sometimes they may have good IQ, have good skills, and they may have that natural ability, but then on one end, they don't know how to work with people. So you're in the workplace, you don't know how to work with people when it comes to do with conflict. It has to do, so that part of it is very important. Just, having the natural ability is good, but they need that overall, development, getting along with people, having issues, how you're going to deal with that. And so, the development, the overall development, that's very important to, when they go in the workplace to be able to, for someone to give them the nod and, these are the things that's going to help them to get promotions. But if you're not good with people, you don't know how to get along, then it's not going to work for them.
Now, Brown Roker says that it is important that they continue this trend of training young persons for the workplace, adding that they want to continue encouraging them, keeping them focused, and assist in the transition from childhood to adulthood. I'm Azure Quant, ZNES Network News.
Well, in other news, this is Police Month, and the top brass of the local police department, along with urban renewal officers, reaching out today to members of the public, presenting them with food items. The Urban Renewal Center on Fabricia Drive was the distribution site. Here again, it's Aja Quant.
Police Month continues in the Pine Ridge community today as police officials give out care packages. Assistant Commissioner of Police Theophilus Cunningham says a simple act of kindness goes a long way.
We believe that this act of kindness would ensure members of the public of our continued commitment to ensure that their safety, their well-being, and their welfare is of paramount importance.
ACP Cunningham says they have taken this time to give back to the communities that they serve, and it is another effort to bridge the gap and increase the level of trust between the police and the community.
We don't intend to police this district in isolation. We intend to partnership with the members of the public to ensure that the trust level increase and that they can confide in us to police the district and to police them by their consent and not by force.
Now, he says the response from the public has been overwhelming as they continue to help the police in the various communities.
Our community partners and us have become so confident in each other that they're reaching out to the various commanders in the district, and when something happens, they're reporting that information. They want to ensure that their community is crime-free.
Now, ACP Cunningham says that there are a number of initiatives set to begin in the coming weeks that communities can look forward to. I'm Azure Quant, ZNES Network News.
Well, the Reach Out Youth Organization continuing to support residents in the West Grand Bahama community. President Dudley Said says it was important for them to be able to touch the lives of everyone throughout the entire island this past weekend.
A lot of times the folks in the West, Grand Bahama, and them have a back-to-school giveaway, Christmas giveaway. They have to tow the lines up in the Freeport area. So the Lord laid on my heart to partner along with our Omar with Powerhouse Gym to bring the same programs up in the West. Today, we had the opportunity to feed 100 residents. We did free breakfast, and I had the opportunity to sit down to hear their needs. One gentleman came, said his roof is leaking. He needs some tops. Another lady came today. She got some Pampers. So what we're trying to do is just to show the people in the West they're not forgotten.
Well, program director in West Grand Bahama and owner of Powerhouse Fitness Gym, Omar Isaacs, says they thought it necessary to bring more activities and programs for young men in the West.
Physical activity, that's a part of what we do here at Powerhouse Gym, but we take it a step further where we're now launching a database, day labor data bank. A reach out will help persons who are unemployed to get onto employers' radar to get a job on a daily basis. It's one of the programs. The next program will be financial literacy. The third Monday of every month, we're going to have, starting next one, we're going to have financial literacy, especially for the young men. The data bank, we had to date about 100+ persons that have signed up and registered. There are many people who have gotten employed through one-day one-offs, but we're looking to try and help people to get on full-time employment. About 52 persons thus far have gotten, we sent them on interviews. So the take-up has been wonderful, and we just want to continue to ask persons to come to Powerhouse Gym, come to Reach Out Community Center in Freeport in order to sign themselves up.
Well, welcome to tonight's sports. A big effort being made to promote soccer at the primary school level. The woman who has been at the forefront for some time is leading the way. Aja Quant has this story.
The Grand Bahama Soccer Club president, Mary Knowles, donates goal posts to Hugh Campbell Primary School. She says she finds the time fitting as soccer is an outdoor sport and COVID-19 is still with us.
It's a great time for soccer to be on the rise with COVID and it being outdoors and less likely to, catch COVID if you're outdoors in the breeze. We selected Hugh Campbell for a number of reasons. It's close to town and country, so I'd be able to come up here at lunchtime and look. And also, Mr. Bethel has been very gracious. He knew about it for about a year and a half, but COVID has put a setback.
Principal at Hugh Campbell Primary says the soccer posts will assist students greatly during their breaks, adding that students can now be involved in positive sporting activities.
What we have learned is that many of our children have this sedentary lifestyle, and with these soccer posts, we can get our children very active, especially during our breaks.
Coach Mary says that although soccer is not a Bahamian sport, she has always wanted to put goal posts in the schools, making it a part of the culture.
It's a very exciting time for us, and we have 15 sets made already. I think there's 18 primary schools. So we're not sure how we're going to go about it because of this COVID thing, but we definitely wanted to put one in the school today to try it.
Coach Mary says the objective is to have growing participation in women's soccer, as FIFA would like to have 60 million girls play in the sport by 2025. I'm Aja Quant, ZNES Total Sports.
Thanks, Aja. The O.B. Wilshcombe Derek Nesbitt Junior Boys Tip-Off Basketball Classic Championship game wrapping up last night. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner. Tabernacle is the winner of the Junior Boys Tip-Off Classic after topping Jack Hayward 41-21. The top scorers for Tabernacle, Noah Bean with 12 points, Joshua Williams with 8, Aiden Miller with 5. Top scorers for Jack Hayward in the losing effort, Desmond Hall with 18, Tremont Parker with 3. The tournament MVP, Joshua Williams. Defensive player of the tournament, Dwight Jones. The coach of the tournament, Quincy Gray. All tournament team members, VJ Patrick of Grand Bahama Academy, Joshua Williams, Aiden Miller, Noah Bean, Dwight Jones, all of Tabernacle, Desmond Hall of Jack Hayward Jr., Elijah Roca of Sister Mary Patricia. The top defensive player award goes to Dwight Jones. The tournament MVP was Joshua Williams.
Comfortably away from home? Experience Bell Channel Inn Resort. Cozy rooms on the waterfront, home of Upstairs on the Bay restaurant. At Bell Channel Inn, here we're family.
Are you tired, overweight, Having trouble sticking to your health and fitness goals? Well, look no further. The Fitness Connection has teamed up with Z&S to bring you Health Bites. This and every Thursday, tune in, and we'll make sure you get on track and stay on track with your health and fitness goals. Tune in.
If your pockets are light, then the price is right at Off the Deep Edge Restaurant and Lounge, where it's Taco Tuesday. Enjoy drinks and beer specials from 5 until 8 p.m. at Off the Deep Edge Restaurant.
Officer Bo, you would not believe what I just saw. What's up, Chris? As I was doing my community service, I saw this truck going down this road. You would not believe the stuff he was throwing out. He was throwing out tires, refrigerators, TVs, even mattresses.
Calm down, Chris, calm down. Did the truck leave the area yet?
No. It was a big man in a reddish colored truck, and he's still there. I just ran out to the main road to call somebody because I did not want to arrest him by myself. Yeah, that's good for your nasty self. You know who you are. Stop like your nastiness.
So do your part to keep Grandmama clean, and don't let this be you.
The King of the North is back. Power 104.5 FM.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Naomi Anderson, you are our Facebook friend of the day. We thank you so much for watching. We certainly do appreciate your support. And that's going to do it for us here in the North. On behalf of the entire news team, I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thank you so much for watching. We ask that you stay tuned as the Bahamas Tonight continues.
Coming up in the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, March Madness, 17 homicides so far this month. A possible return of police in schools, a legislative move for continuous public service, and a royal welcome for Shawnee and Devon. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, starts now.
This portion of the news is brought to you by BTC Superfast Internet for Less. Best rate, no debate. Sign up today.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Akush Lopinder, and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Thanks for tuning in. The Minister of National Security tabling the Police Commissioner's 2022 policing plan in the House of Assembly this morning. The document revealing that police have been successful in completing their 7 priority objectives. Fern Carey has the story.
Acknowledging that 2021 was a challenging year crime-wise, National Security Minister, the Honorable Wayne Munro, says there is still cause for optimism, with a preliminary review indicating that the rate of crime in the country remained unchanged by the end of last year. Meanwhile, the use of integrated technology like drones, CCTV, and ShotSpotter are allowing authorities to gain significant ground in the crime fight, coupled with a significant investment in human resource training that has resulted in improved prosecution and higher conviction rates. However, there is still room for improvement.
Crime against the person increased by 18% in 2021, with 870 incidents compared to 736 in 2020. Property crimes decreased by 4% in 2021, with 3,211 incidents compared with 3,328 in 2020. During the year, there was a 13% regional decrease in crime on the Family Islands when compared to 2020. There was a regional increase, however, in New Providence and Grand Bahama at rates of 2% and 1%.
Many motorists are complaining about the number of roadblocks taking place here in the capital. However, the National Security Minister says they are reaping dividends.
officers executed numerous search warrants and detained persons on outstanding warrants and brought them before the court. Notably, the force was able to seize 277 illegal firearms and 3,430 illegal rounds of ammunition in 2021. As a result, 145 suspects were arrested and charged with possession of illegal firearms. Additionally, the officers of the Royal Bahamas Police Force seized 6,325 pounds of marijuana.
He says the drone program will hopefully be resolved this coming year, while testing for Marco's alert system will be finalized. And in the wake of 130 officers exiting the police force and 96 more expected to retire or are on pre-retirement by year's end, recruitment efforts are also being stepped up. This as Commissioner of Police Paul Roll has also indicated that he will be retiring this year.
These retirement numbers are daunting, given the fact that over the last 4 years, the force was unable to sustain recruitment levels to supplement the retirement losses. Notwithstanding, the force is in the process of a recruitment exercise to rebuild the strength of the force, which is deficient by an estimated 900 police constables. The financial cost for the expected 190 new hires is estimated at $3.42 million.
The National Security Minister also renewed his call for residents to partner with the police in the fight against crime. Fern Carey, ZNS Network News.
Now, that policing plan coming as violent crime continues to rage, with another 2 homicides on the books, the latest just this morning. Carla Palmer fills us in with the details.
The victim's identity was not disclosed by police, but they say he's in his late 20s, and he was a resident of an Airbnb on Stewfish Drive off Carmichael Road, the very same property on which he was killed. Police Press Liaison Officer Superintendent Audley Peters says when they arrived on scene shortly after 8 o'clock Wednesday morning, they met the victim suffering from multiple gunshots, including in the head.
Our officers responded, and they came to an apartment complex where in the parking lot they found a male lying next to a vehicle with wounds to his head that were consistent with gunshot.
The victim was reportedly found right here between these 2 vehicles. Police are now on the hunt for the 4 suspects responsible.
Our preliminary facts in this instance is that the victim was leaving his residence to go to his vehicle when 4 males armed with firearms approached him and shot him, fatally wounding him.
For more than 2 hours, police were on scene conducting their investigations, and some of their findings safely packaged away in brown paper bags. Police also confirming that the 4 suspects each had different weapons. They are confident of successfully solving this case in the shortest possible time.
We have very promising leads in this instance. People are heeding to the clarion call to assist. The criminals out there could rest assured the public is no longer taking foolishness, and they're doing their part. We have persons who are wanting to be willing offenders, looking for suitable targets. Well, the members of the public are now capable guardians, and they are assisting the police with our investigations.
Still, no comfort to family members who had arrived and understandably, visibly upset. For his safety and fear of retaliation, this resident wished to remain anonymous. He says he was alerted to the sounds of gunshots by his children.
We gotta be our brother's keeper. We gotta learn to forgive, man. You know, you can't just take a life, because only God's supposed to take life. We gotta stop the killing.
This is the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, and all of our wealth is common, so we have to take care of it. And that requires us to do our part. You see something, say something.
Superintendent Peters maintains that the police is doing its part in fighting crime and will win the war. Carla Palmer, ZNS Network News.
Well, only hours earlier, a man was gunned down on Wrights Lane off Wolf Road. Here's Superintendent Peters again with an update on investigations into that matter.
we can say to the public that we have a male, an adult male in custody who is assisting with our investigations. And the facts in that instance look very promising, and in due course, it's a possibility that we could wrap that matter up.
Well, meantime, 2 young men are tonight in police custody following a stabbing at the A.F. Adderley Junior High School this morning. Bringing the matter to the attention of House members was National Security Minister, the Honourable Wayne Munro, who says based on police intelligence, those involved are part of a gang.
Certainly, the Commissioner, Deputy Commissioner, and I stand ready to put police into the schools and obviate the debate that we used to have about whether police should be in the school.
Unwavering in his stance that criminals are a product of a society, the minister went on to share this harsh reality.
Young men have taken it upon themselves to believe that it is normal and natural to run up on somebody with a gun that fires 7.62 rounds and shoot someone 24 times. That is where we are in this country. Those young men range in age from 18 to 30. So it's a deep-seated problem in this country.
We also hear from A.F. Adderley Principal Dr. Virginia Romer, who tells us how the incident unfolded.
While the students were changing classes, moving from one class to the other, we had an incident on campus where a student would have stabbed another student. It was not a stabbing that was life-threatening. We had the nurse on campus. By the time the police came, we had a head start on exactly what had happened, and then they came and they took it over from there to further do their investigations.
Acknowledging it's an unfortunate event, Dr. Romer expressed hope, though, that security will be beefed up.
Our hope is to get a metal detector that would help us to identify these instruments that they may have on their person that we may not be able to freely touch and feel with our hands. And in doing that, prevent them from coming on campus.
Police, meantime, press on with their community outreach, expanding their efforts to the Montel Heights community. Approximately 200 packages of grocery along with clothing and lunch were distributed on the community park. A similar initiative taking place in Baintown, where some 300 grocery packages were dispersed. Assistant Commissioner of Police Craig Stubbs deems it a success.
This is the second event that is ongoing for this morning, where we are giving back to the community. The community is the police, and the police are the community. This morning we started in Baintown, where the fire services is giving back to members of the community who are being affected by fire. So they had a clothing drive and a food giveaway. That event, I must say, the amount of persons that were in attendance tripled the amount we see here in the Montel Heights community. But it's always a good initiative that we are doing to let the community knows that we're here to make their community safe. To all of our stakeholders who would have contributed to this shared vision.
Stubbs says the goal is to build safer communities and stronger ties, as they cannot police effectively without the public's help.
From where I start, it's an everyday request from the former commissioner to visit these communities to do this initiative. We understand with the pandemic, there were a lot of families who were hurting, whether it's financially in their homes. So when the initiative came about, it was something that at first it was greeted with we saw how the community responded, and then we saw how it helped us in our policing initiative. So with the community and the policing and this initiative, it's helped us tremendously.
You're watching the Bahamas Tonight. There's more when we return.
This portion of the news was brought to you by Sun Oil Limited Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
A lot has changed over the past 60 years, but at Commonwealth Bank, our mission to build lifelong relationships with our clients remains the same. Our customers are more than just a number. Our customers are our family, And together, we create banking solutions that fit your unique needs. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
What? Check old girl, boy. You say she getting married? Oh, man, not again.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to join this man's BTC home internet with this woman BTC mobile service in holy matrimony. So they'll pay half the price compared to the other guys.
What's wrong with you? Just let them...
Madam, do you have BTC mobile service?
I do.
Sir, do you have BTC home internet to unite with her mobile service?
I do.
Get all the internet you want at half the price when you bundle your home internet and mobile service.
So, what services do you have?
Me? I have BTC at home and on my phone.
Visit any BTC store to make the switch today.
What makes an icon? Is it 80 years in the business? Or inventing a recipe that changes the way we enjoy chicken around the world? No. What makes an icon are the fans. Order KFC and take home a true mealtime icon.
Every journey starts with the first step, and mine starts here. I believed in Tokyo, the belief that I could be, we could be the best. We are drenched in Bahamian pride, no matter where we go. In 5 years, Alive built the Bahamas' best network, delivering faster speeds and stronger connections to all 700 islands and keys. Alive believed that every Bahamian deserved a world-class network and excellent customer service. I am proud to be Director of Speed and Connection.
Tony Miller-Weibo is total class. Look at her go. What a win.
As we continue to improve our lightning-fast, world-class network and connect with art, culture, and the world around us, never stop dreaming and never stop believing.
We believe in relationship banking. We take pride in getting to know our clients. You have access to knowledgeable, approachable ambassadors and financial coaches so that we can recommend the best product for you. At Fidelity, we care about you. From your financial health to your physical health, we can relate to you because we're just like you. Come and start your relationship banking experience with us today. Visit us online at fidelitygroup.com. Visit any of our branches in Nassau or Grand Bahama, or phone 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 for Freeport.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies Limited. If it's healthcare, it's here.
This Friday, a pretty busy one on the streets with all the activities planned for the Royals. Still, officials are ensuring a smooth visit. Here's our Lloyd Allen with what motorists can expect.
As the nation approaches the 11th hour prior to the arrival of the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, there are some road closures and diversions you'll need to know in order to navigate during their time in the Bahamas.
There will be no road closures for Thursday. However, on Friday from 9:30 a.m. until 11 a.m., Carmichael Road will be closed from Barbuda Street east to Golden Sun Road.
According to Corporal Brittany Roll of the Royal Bahamas Police Force's Traffic Division, there are 2 additional areas set for temporary adjustments: downtown Nassau and East Bay Street.
Vehicles will not be able to park between 5 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. on the Bay Street area due to the road closures for Friday. The closure will take place from Frederick Street to East Street. Traffic will be diverted north onto Frederick Street, east onto Woods Rogers Walk, south onto East Street, east back onto Bay Street.
As for the third,
the final closure for that day would take place from 12 p.m. until 3 o'clock p.m., which would extend from Harbor Bay Shopping Plaza to Montague Beach. Traffic would be diverted into one lane. They would still have access to pass in that area. So it wouldn't be a complete closure. Members of the public are still allowed to pass and to view the royals if they can.
officials advise that diversions will take place as early as 5 a.m. and that motorists pay close attention to additional changes.
I would advise the public to stay updated with the news. We have social media platforms, and we also have it in our cars for people who are not that literate with the cell phones or computers, and to keep listening for different changes that are coming.
Now, with all that's set to take place on Friday, drivers are encouraged to exercise the utmost caution and care on the streets. Lloyd Allen, ZNS Network News.
Well, tomorrow, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge will touch down at the Lyndon Pinley International Airport, the last leg of their Caribbean tour that included stops in both Jamaica and Belize. Following their arrival, the royals will visit with the Prime Minister and other officials. On Friday, a special ceremony is planned at Sybil Strawn Primary School. They will also head to the Garden of Remembrance to meet with healthcare frontline workers, and then it's on to Montague for a special regatta. The day caps off with a reception in their honor at the Bahama Resort. ZNS News will be providing live coverage of all of the events beginning at 4 p.m. Thursday. Members today debating a compendium of bills that pave the way for public servants to get the full benefit of their pensions once they retire. The legislation includes a bill for an act to provide for the continuous service in the public service of Raymond Mackey, Mary Mitchell, Japheth Edison Delaveau, as well as the Telus Bethel Pension Bill 2022. Opening the debate, Public Service Minister, the Honorable Fred Mitchell, noted that there's a rule in the public service where people ought to put in 30 years of continuous service in order to get their full pension. Should they fall short, they will only receive a gratuity or reduced pension. The legislation, however, seeks to change that.
Well, all of them have given important service to the country. And it was felt in these circumstances, some were decided by our predecessors, and this was, and another was decided by us. But it's all a similar pattern to give them the right to have a full pension so that it's deemed to have continuous service, even though they had breaks in service. And there were special circumstances to deal with Mr. Telus Bethel, who served as the Commodore of the Defense Force.
Well, we can tell you that that compendium of bills was passed in the House of Assembly just this evening. Meantime, the Registrar General Department and the Freedom of Information Unit are making the move to the Bahamas Financial Center. The RGD manages marriages, births, deaths, as well as other necessary registrations. And according to the Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs, Senator the Honorable Ryan Pender, you can also add to that land registration.
Mr. Vice President, I am pleased to confirm that the renovation plans are being finalized by the Ministry of Works, and we look to go to tender for the renovations of the new RGD space and Freedom of Information Unit next month. We are on pace to move into our new facilities by the end of this calendar year, and still on pace to digitize the Registrar General's Department by the end of this calendar year.
Still on Parliament News, Minister of State for Social Services and Urban Development, the Honorable Lisa Ramming, says she will walk in line with the government when a final determination is made on how marital rape is defined by legislation. Her comments coming on the heels of several gender equality advocates calling into question the Minister of National Security's comments that marital rape would have to be called something else to secure a conviction from a jury. Marion Bethel, who sits on the UN Committee on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, or CEDAW, has said she would not support calling marital rape anything else.
I would support whatever terminology at the end of the day which is placed in the act and that is agreed between everyone. I think that's a fair answer. Well, my stance on marital rape is I'll leave it as it is. I'll leave it as it is until the act has come up.
Raming says during her recent visit to the UN, she had discussions with the ambassador for Guyana on the wide issue of gender-based violence.
We got examples of how it could be interpreted other ways, and both of us agreed that it's important that we have educational forum. And so I know for a fact, before any act is really pulled out, it's for the public to accept what you're saying or to even understand and appreciate it. We know at this point, and it was agreed between Guyana and us, that it's important that we do public education. And we also discussed it in our legal forum that we had with the gender base. The panel discussion was using certain terminologies, because when you use certain terminologies, that will somehow make persons think different from what it means. So we got to be clear on what we say, and we also have to communicate that to the public in order for them to understand how important it is to pass this act.
Well, now for those COVID numbers, 2 males and a female make up the 3 newly confirmed COVID-19 cases in country, 2 of whom have a history of travel within 14 days. The March 22nd dashboard also reflecting a COVID hospital count of 5, 1 of the sick on the intensive care unit. Meantime, 1 person recovered from the virus. As for deaths, that's holding firm at 787, while tests completed are at 177, 2 of them repeats.
And remember to tune in to the morning edition with LaDawn Davis and Charles Fisher at 7 o'clock weekday mornings. We also have news updates at every hour starting at 2 p.m. You can then watch the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, at 6:30, and the National Report live at 7 p.m. All right here on the ZNS Network.
Health is the greatest gift. That's where we come in. Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies is a premier distributor of medical equipment, as well as medical and surgical consumables. Our engineers are always on hand, providing top care service that saves lives. We carry a wide selection of over-the-counter and prescription items, IV fluids, and other injections. Our products are state-of-the-art, and our entire team stays on top of cutting-edge technology. With more than 2 decades of dedicated service, Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies continues to be a trendsetter and innovator in healthcare. We have set ourselves apart by truly caring for our customers. We understand the intricacies of healthcare, and we produce spectacular results. We cherish our partnerships and nurture our friendships as we continue on our quest to help everyone maintain that wonderful gift of good health. Find us on 9th Fifth Terrace, Centerville, right in the heart of the medical service epicenter of Nassau, Bahamas.
From the time we open, we create moments of joy for everyone we serve. We use every encounter to show how we are different. Stop in and enjoy our freshly prepared breakfast on the go for your family. Or even having your favorite food delivered where you can easily connect with your friends. Our commitment is serving you quality food from our restaurant. Go ahead and dip your French fries in your Frosty. Cheers to better days ahead. That's what makes Wendy's different on the inside and out.
Anything you need, we got you covered. Say the word and we'll come through. So if you need coverage for life, choose BAF, they'll get it right. Just go out and do it. It's your life, so just live it. So anything you want, you can get it. It's time to get it right. So we rolling with BAF for life. BAF for life. And so we going with BAF for life. BAF for life. And so we choosing BAF for life. BAF for life. And so we rolling with BAF for life. BAF for life. If you want coverage for life, choose BAF, they'll get it right. Yes, that's the best choice. BAF, that's BAF for life.
We get it. Life happens. And when it does, Easy Payday is here for you. Whether it's cash for school fees, a vacation, or even a loan consolidation, no matter what your needs are, we are here for you when you need us most. Eligible applicants can borrow up to $15,000. Visit us at our new location on University Drive. Give us a call at 603-0200 or apply online at easypayday.loans. Easy Payday loans are simple, fast, and easy.
Join up for life insurance. Secure the ones that you love. Join up with Family Guardian. We offer full protection. Join the family. Join the family. Family Guardian. Protect the ones you love. A brand that you can trust. Family Guardian.
With the contract of BTVI President Robert Robertson set to expire in May, Minister of Education, Technical and Vocational Training, the Honorable Glenys Hannah Martin, says wherever possible, Bahamians should be able to assume top posts that aid in developing the country, and that extends to education. Hannah Martin was responding to the likelihood of Linda Davis, BTVI's Vice President of Academic Affairs, being elevated to president, particularly after stating last week that she expects a Bahamian will hold the post of president at UB in short order. She also responded to former Prime Minister, the Right Honourable Hubert Ingram's criticism that she took the wrong posture on that issue.
Well, I'll say this, that we have a board that's newly named, and that board will look at the termination or the ending of that contract and the search to see who assumes, whether it's the individual currently serving or a new person. However, as I indicated, we are principally guided by, where possible, in our national development for Bahamians to assume positions of influence in our nation. So good to hear from the former Prime Minister. It's good to know that he's still alive and well. That's my response to him.
Meantime, the Ministry of Education and individual schools using recovery programs to ensure students at risk for not meeting graduation criteria in June can actually meet the benchmark. Hannah Martin encourages students to avail themselves of the options.
We're reviewing that now. I mean, it's very late in the game now. The school year is ending shortly, and so I don't think fundamentally you'll see fundamental reform in that regard. But we are reviewing it because it's my view that certainly aspects of that must be revisited to see how, without lowering academic standards, to see how we can not create barriers and be more facilitative for performing students. So that is underway.
Miss Bahamas Universe Chantal O'Brien joining in activities marking Forestry Week, planting a tree at the entrance of Centerville Primary School Wednesday morning. O'Brien shares why she's excited to participate in the initiative and the message she hopes to share with students.
As a young girl, even in primary school, I never really remembered anything about being able to plant trees and really the importance of it, what it has to do with our environment, the sustainability behind it. And so I think that young children at this age being able to just be groomed to understand what we need to do for our environment is super important. It's actually my second time this year back here at Centerville, and so I'm excited about that. And it's just about reinforcing a lot of the things that they should know, being able to be confident in what it is that they're doing, but even more so being able to be confident in knowing that everything that's brought forth towards you is important. So the fact that we're talking about sustainability, planting trees, these are things that are important that should be taken seriously, and so that we shouldn't take anything for granted, especially our environment.
Well, as we head to the break, we'd like to thank all our viewers watching us live on our social media platforms. And just in case you missed the news, be sure to head there to catch up. Stay with us. There's more after the break.
You're always on the go. We know life can be a daily rush. CIBC, First Caribbean, you can count on us. We make life easier. Manage your accounts at any time. Apply for a loan. It's easy when you bank online. We make life easier with choices that suit you. CIBC, First Caribbean.
What would
I like people to know about women in leadership is that women being in leadership does not deny an opportunity to a man to be in leadership. We can all be in leadership together. And in fact, leadership makes its most effective decisions when it's getting those different viewpoints from all segments of society. My advice would be to young women to never rest on your laurels. Always be thinking about what is the next thing that you can do or need to learn.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home health care supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price. And you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
Under the roofs of each Super Value and Quality Supermarkets, you'll find great specials like Hillendale eggs, extra large 1 dozen, $2.75. Hellman's mayonnaise, 30 ounce, $5.39. Wesson oil, assorted, 48 ounce, $5.99. Premium boneless strip steaks, $8.99 per pound. Great American raw shrimp, 12 ounce, $5.99. Shop for savings at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
Shell Unleaded improves your fuel economy, giving increased miles per gallon, allowing you to do more of what you really want. Special additives used in Shell Unleaded improve your engine's efficiency. So go further with Shell Unleaded. Venture out to beaches, Junkanoo, and festivals and bring home memories that will last a lifetime. Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
Progressive Liberal Party senators decrying the state of homes 2 years and counting since Hurricane Dorian. Having toured Grand Bahama, Deputy Director of Urban Renewal with responsibility for the Northern Bahamas, the Honorable Kirkland Russell stressed the immediate need for help.
As we traverse through the communities, we found that situation almost in every community multiplied. And so you get down in Spring City, you see the houses, beautiful roofs. When you go to the door and you knock on the doors, you look inside. The people are in need of serious help. And so we are going to do what we need to do for the people of Grand Bahama and Abaco.
Now, according to Russell, the relief project is expected to engage around 130 to 150 small contractors and over 600 laborers.
The project is expected to begin within the next 2 weeks, and we have to begin within the next 2 weeks because the government is insisting that we get families in dried house, that's house with completed roof, and house that are prepared on the inside before the upcoming hurricane season, or at least before we get into the heart of the upcoming hurricane season.
Well, it's time now for a check on Family Island weather with Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, Lakeisha. We are under mostly clear skies. The current temperature stands at 81 degrees. Relative humidity, 73%. The winds are out of the south-southeast at 14 miles per hour. The barometric pressure, 1,000 to 17.4 millibars. That is 30.04 inches, and the pressure is rising. Temperatures around the islands this evening, they are brought to you by Family Guardian Insurance Company. We're protecting you. 79 degrees in Freeport, Grand Bahama, Green Turtle Key, and Marsh Harbor, Abaco. The Berry Islands also at 79 79 degrees, 80 degrees in Allenstown, Bimini. Harbor Island, 79, Rockstown, Eleuthera, 80 degrees, 80 in Black Point, Exuma, Kemps Space, Landross, and Fresh Creek in Central Landross. Allenstown, Cat Island, San Salvador, and Rumkey, 81 degrees, 80 degrees in Georgetown, Exuma, 80 also in Ragged Island, Clarence-Town, Long Island, Crooked Island, Betsy Bay, and Acklands, Matthew County, Nago, 82, and the Turks and Caicos Islands at 81 degrees. And your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Builders Mall, home of FYP, the Tile King, and the Paint Center. For all areas tonight through Thursday, the winds are going to be southeast to south at 15 to 20 knots, wave heights 4 to 7 feet. High tide that will take place at 1:04 in the morning with a low tide at 7:37 tomorrow morning. And then on Friday in the northwestern islands, the winds become south to southwest at 10 to 15 knots ahead of a frontal system, which heading this way. We'll tell you more about that. Low tide will take place at 8:45 in the morning with a high tide at 2:34 in the afternoon. For the central and southeastern islands on Friday, southeast winds down 10 to 15 knots, wave heights 2 to 4 feet over the ocean. And that's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they are brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. That's going to do it for your international temperatures brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But stay tuned. Your extended weather forecast is still ahead.
AID has everything you need and more to complement your home's decor. Luxurious bamboo bath towels, face towels from $1.25 and bath towels from $5.45. Shower curtains from $2.54 and organizers in stylish finishes. Bath mat sets from $7.27 in a multitude of styles and colors. Bed sheet sets from $9.95 and 7-piece comforter sets from $49.95. Doormats from $1.93 with matching runners and hundreds of area carpets. Sofa covers from $19.95, plain and crushed sheer curtains from $5.25 and thousands of panels to choose from. Blinds from $7.02 and curtain rods from $2.89. Ceramic and porcelain dishes, tablecloths, napkins, placemats, utensils, and more. A wide selection of drinking glasses including elegant stemware, candle holders, vases, and crystal. Full-size mirrors, decorative pictures, and picture frames. AID, Wolf Road and the Mall at Marathon open late and on Sundays to serve your decorating needs. AID, all you really need and more.
When you testify in court, you're expected to tell the truth. Same goes for your insurance application form. You have to answer every question truthfully and provide all the information requested, or you could be found guilty of misrepresentation. That means your insurance company could deny your policy or refuse to pay your claim. Your insurance company relies on the information you provide to determine whether to issue you a policy. Leaving out just one piece of information could lead to misrepresentation. So read your application form carefully. If you're unsure about anything, ask your insurance agent or broker before completing and signing your insurance application form. This message was brought to you by the Insurance Commission of the Bahamas, protecting the interests of policyholders.
Hungry and looking for something so satisfying? Something to truly tantalize your taste buds? Then make it Charlie's, the home of the #1 cheesesteak in the world. Also serving up a variety of delicious wings, freshly cooked to order under 10 minutes. With 2 locations to serve you. Mall at Marathon, open from 11 a.m. until 7 p.m. And the East-West Highway, next to Solomon's, from 11 a.m. until 10 p.m. That's Charlie's, the home of the #1 cheesesteak in the world. 393-3100.
My name is Alicia Poitea, and I've been using the Molfix brand for almost 10 years now. What I love about the Molfix brand is that it is of great quality, and I currently use it on my 2-year-old and my 5-month-old. I haven't had any issues with irritability or rashes or anything of that sort. What I love most about the Molfix brand is that I get value for money, and that to me is awesome.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Good evening, Bahamas, and welcome to your ZNS Total Sports. I'm Amajal Knowles. We're live here at the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium. Roughly an hour ago, the celebrations concluded for world indoor medalists Shawnee Miller-Weibo and Devin Charlton. And currently joining me now is one of the women of the hour, Shawnee Miller-Weibo. Shawnee, obviously another great performance for yourself. Just tell me about the feeling of winning your first indoor medal.
First, I just want to give God thanks and praise just for allowing me to be able to compete for the country and be able to bring home some hardware and make everyone proud once again. But it's a great feeling to be a world champion indoor, and yeah, now we get to put it behind us and focus for the outdoor season.
Just as for a lot of those that don't know, you were not necessarily a big fan of the indoor, but you had a little bit of a push. Just tell the people at home about that push.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely not one for the indoor season. The turns are a little bit tight for me, and I don't get the chance to really open up as I do outdoors. But my mom, she told me that she wanted me to go after the title, and she wanted me to kind of prove that I'm the best in the event overall, and she wanted me to grab all the titles. And so, yeah, we went for it. My mommy asked, it's not really a question, so I'm glad to do that for her and make her proud with that.
And I know you yourself as an athlete, you've always been supportive of other athletes. Devin winning her first global medal, you were there to be able to share that opportunity with her. Just tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, me and Devin, we grew up competing against each other, and just to see her have her moment and for things to start working out for her, it's a blessing to see in person. And so I'm happy for her, and I'm hoping that it continues to carry on for the rest of the season as well, for her to grab some more medals. And I think the entire team did pretty well down there in Belgrade. Everyone's looking forward to the outdoor season, hoping to bring home some more medals back home.
Now, World Outdoors right around the corner, not necessarily time for a break. Just tell me a bit about your expectations for World Outdoors, and when does your training start, or is it already underway?
Yeah, no, training has already started. I started back up training for outdoor season yesterday, and things just go back onto the flow of things. But yeah, outdoor season starts, and our World Championships are in 4 months, and so that's the big dance for the season, and we're hoping to be ready for it and hopefully bring home more goals for the country.
Any final words you want to leave or say to people out there?
I just want to say thank you to everyone for all the support. We go there each and every time to represent you guys well, and we're glad to make you guys proud, and we're hoping that we can continue to make you guys proud.
All right, thank you so much, Shawnee, and again, congratulations. But we'll have a full report on today's festivities in tomorrow's Sportscast. Signing out from the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium, I'm Amajal Knowles, ZNS Total Sports.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
When you want to save money on your tile supplies, who you gonna call? The Tile King. When you tile your house and you want to look good, who you gonna call? The Tile King.
Visit the new Tile King showroom, which is internationally recognized as the finest tile showroom in the Caribbean, located in the Builders Mall on Wolf Road.
The Tile King. Who you gonna call? The Tile King.
Tiles on everything.
What would I like people to know about women in leadership is that women being in leadership does not deny an opportunity to a man to be in leadership. We can all be in leadership together. And in fact, leadership makes its most effective decisions when it's getting those different viewpoints from all segments of society. My advice would be to young women to never rest on your laurels. Always be thinking about what is the next thing that you can do or need to learn.
Saving money is easy this week. Just shop the specials at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. Riceland long grain or parboiled rice, 5 pounds, $3.75. Best Value whole kernel corn, 15 ounce, 2 for $2.19. Mott's apple juice, 1 gallon, $6.99. Sweet mangoes, 2 for $3. Bone-in chicken breasts, $1.99 per pound. Don't meet me there, beat me there. Super value and quality supermarkets.
What? Check old girl, boy. You say she getting married? Oh, man, not again.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to join this man's BTC home internet with this woman BTC mobile service in holy matrimony. So they'll pay half the price compared to the other guys.
What's wrong with you? Just let them...
Madam, do you have BTC mobile service?
I do.
Sir, do you have BTC home internet to unite with her mobile service?
I do.
Get all the internet you want at half the price when you bundle your home internet and mobile service.
So, what services do you have?
Me? I have BTC at home and on my phone.
Visit any BTC store to make the switch today.
We're headed on the road and we want you to join us for live coverage from Bahamar on March 25th at 7 and 11 p.m. for a special edition of the Bahamas Tonight, The Royal Visit.
While it's encouraging that the national COVID-19 vaccine rollout is going successfully, it's not the only precaution to reduce the spread of the virus in our communities. It's important to continue practicing safety protocols because it is our social responsibility to protect ourselves and to protect others.
Wash your hands for a friend with a weaker immune system.
Only read and share information from trusted sources to avoid unnecessary panic.
I'm an agile to avoid these large crowds. We could have loved ones at home who have underlying health conditions. Do it.
Practicing safety protocols is an act of brotherly and sisterly love.
The life you save may just be yours as well as your neighbor.
Together we will win.
We will win.
We must make sure that your mission is intact.
Yes, Mom!
Agent 1, what is a touch? Physical contact, Mom. Agent 2, what is a good touch? Touches that make you feel alright, Mom. Such as? A high five, a handshake, even a kiss, Mom. Good. Now, Agent 3, what is a bad touch? Touches that make you feel not so good, Mom. Like a slap, a kick, a pinch. And most important, if someone touches your private part. And what do we do when someone gives us a bad touch?
You tell a trusted adult, Mom.
For help, Mom. Tell them, don't do that, Mom. Agent, I see that you understand. Now it's your mission to spread this information. Just remember that good touches are okay. And bad touches are not okay. So, Agent, go spread the word. Yes, Mom.
It's a part of all of our lives. ZNS TV is where we go for information, entertainment, and enjoyment. ZNS is there with something for everyone. ZNS TV, a part of our lives for 40 years.
Time now for weather.
In our final look at weather, that area of high pressure, which was producing some brisk winds for the past few days, will start to slide towards the east, and we will see a reduction in those winds by Friday. And ahead of a cold front that's heading our way, but there's a prefrontal line of showers with some embedded thunderstorms moving our way as well. So on Friday, you'll see an increase in cloudiness with showers developing as well. The front itself goes through sometime late on Friday night or early Saturday morning. Behind that, we anticipate a nice cool down for the weekend. Tonight, though, we're looking at mainly clear and warm with a passing shower developing late. 75 degrees will be a low temperature. And tomorrow, it's going to be winds subsiding with lots of sunshine in the forecast. The high temperature tomorrow, 84 degrees. Extended weather forecast looking like this. Mid-80s right through Friday ahead of that front. Temperatures will dip, getting back into the 70s during the daytime on Sunday, 60s during the nighttime. So some nice little comfortable chilly weather heading our way for the weekend, which will take us into the early part of next week. Kishla.
Well, thanks, Basil. That does it for the Bahamas tonight. Thank you for continuing to make ZNS your first choice for news and information. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. From all of us here at ZNS, thank you for watching and good night. And we leave you with scenes of Shawnee Miller-Weibo's gold medal race.
In Belgrade. Ball in 4, Miller-Weibo in 6. Watch for Miller-Weibo going hard on the outside. She says that it's too tight over 200 and she can't always get into her rhythm. She got a bronze a few years ago and said she was finished with indoor running. Miller-Weibo on the left of picture. Femke Bol coming past McPherson. And Klaver has run a little more conservatively on the first lap. But it's Miller-Weibo as they take the bell. Femke Bol is just behind. It's the raw pace of the Olympic champion against the strength of the hurdler. Don't rule out McPherson. And Sweetie Ersitic is still in the mix here. Miller-Weibo rounding this last bend. She's beginning to pull away. She's trying to make history for the Bahamas, and she's going to do it. Shawnee Miller-Weibo tying up, but it doesn't matter. It's gold for the Olympic champion. Silver for Femke Bol. The great duel, the great rivalry did unfold, but in the end, the Olympic champion.
For as long as we've been a country, these islands have been a favorite for royalty. And for as long as the royals have adored us as a people, we've always been hospitable and gracious hosts. From a colony to a nation, now on the cusps of its golden anniversary, these shores have celebrated royal visits with class and dignity that is wholly Bahamian. As Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth celebrates her platinum anniversary on the throne, the islands of the Bahamas welcomes the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge on this, their first visit to the country. Our coverage starts Thursday, March 24th at 4 p.m. and continues through their departure Saturday, March 26th. The ZNS Network, your home for the royal visit. William and Kate.
By giving unconditionally, not expecting anything in return, I thought it was a wonderful way of showing this love, and I believe that it is love that truly draws people, and so I thought we could cover a lot more people by feeding. Volunteers, you know, they have truly been sold.
My passion is to help, and I thank God for what I can do through the help of Bahamas Feeding Network.
On the picture, your parents, them over there watching you. You want gangbang?
It's back.
You're here because your parents decided to put you in here.
The groundbreaking reality series returns.
You never shown me before? You Louisiana hit me?
Do you know it's still time to get it together?
With never before seen footage.
Come punch me then. Send you to punch him, mommy. You punch me?
This ain't no playground. You're gonna know before you leave today. If you leave, if they find some space, I can teach you all how to disrespect.
It's a whole new season.
Don't come here with your movie face, because I ain't buying it.
Watch their transformation.
It bears to be a winner. It bears to be a winner. Being what? You are a unit. You moving as one.
So why you doing what you doing?
The Ministry of National Security and the ZNS Network presents Shark Treatment. A whole new season coming soon.
The ZNS community page now has its own home on Channel 230. Be sure to tune into this channel to see informative notices, funeral announcements, birthday greetings, and much, much more. So watch the ZNS community channel today on Cable 230.